Hello, everybody. Welcome to Conversations with a Cinephile. I'm your host, Siddu Navanetha. I'm joined here today by my friend Talal Al-Dubayan. Talal, take it away, man.
How you been? It's a pleasure to be here, man.
Yeah, for sure. So, honestly, this is pretty laid back podcast. We're just gonna sit here and talk about what's going on and what we find interesting, and that's basically it. We're just kicking it.
Exactly. We talk about whatever we want, whenever we want. It's an open thing for everybody.
Yep. So, how's your day been going, man?
Hey, not bad. College, classes, the whole deal.
Yeah, so that's exactly the kind of audience, and audience can be pretty much anybody, but if you're just walking home from class, or you're just chilling after a day of class, or you're chilling about to go to class, you can listen to this podcast on the go anywhere. We're currently working to put this on iTunes. It's currently on Google Podcasts, and I will also make sure it gets on Stitcher as well. So it will have the most the most popular platforms for you to access this. And it's just going to be us chilling and talking about this stuff. So, the biggest thing that has happened in the past week or so in terms of movies and movie news, if you are any at all aware of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it is probably like the biggest money-making machine for Disney at the moment,
Oh yeah,
which is their
100%.
live action remakes. So, I'm sure you've heard about Spider-Man leaving the MCU.
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
That's a
so,
huge deal everywhere.
exactly. So, what are your thoughts on this whole matter, Talal?
Man, honestly, I didn't read too much about it, but from what I know, like everybody's just reacting. People were shocked, People were just like, they shouldn't leave, and he should leave, and he is pretty much what they call the kid of Marvel. He is like Iron Man's son, as they say. And
Yeah,
I don't know, I just feel like it wouldn't fit without him because he gives us so much humor and so much energy that losing him is kind of losing a piece of Marvel, and the rest of the movies just wouldn't sit right without him there.
yeah, for sure. There's definitely parts of that I 100% agree with because Spider-Man is one of the most popular characters ever. Like, it's probably arguably the most popular superhero character, right next to Batman. Like Spider-Man and Batman, they've had the most movies, they've had the most comics, and
Oh yeah,
they've probably been
definitely.
around quite the longest. So this,
Oh yeah.
honestly, I would like to say, there are a lot of people who just hate on Sony for this, but honestly, I like to hate on Disney because I feel like they have so much money and they have so much power, yet they continue to be greedy, I guess, which kind of leaves a sour taste in my mouth because, hey, you just got all the Fox X-Men and Fantastic Four characters. Sony like literally only has Spider-Man and all the like Spider-Man villains and Spider-Man centric characters. So like I don't understand what your deal is when sure you wanted to make this deal and you let Spider-Man in 5 of your movies and now you just want basically a 50-50 split with all the profits and all of Spider-Man's characters and production control. I feel like that's asking a little too much, especially when Sony's been doing quite well with their standalone Spider-Man movies. Like Venom made almost $1 billion, about 856 million, I think, and then Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse won the Oscar for Best Animated Feature. So I really don't think they need the MCU to make a good Spider-Man movie or anything, because the best Spider-Man movies have been not in the MCU. But still, like you said, he brings that, I guess, everyday, like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man feel to the MCU when all the heroes feel kind of larger than life. He's just a kid.
Exactly. I mean, like, there's like two sides to it. One side is the people who want him still in the MCU because he has that special relationship
Correct.
uh, Iron Man like looks up to him, and Iron Man sees him as a son, you know. But at
Hmm.
the same time, we have to be honest. Disney is this money making concoction that just never stops. You know, they have
Correct.
Pixar, they have National Geographic. Now they're making something called Disney Plus, and God knows
Oh,
how much
yes.
money that's
Hmm.
gonna make. So what Sony is doing is like, you know what? Spider-Man is making already so much money, and people already love him that they're still going to follow him no matter what. So why don't
Hmm.
we just not give that to Disney and let us make some of the profits? I mean, sure, like you said, they made Venom, that made a lot of money, and they made Spider-Man movies as well, like exclusively for them. But you got to know that Disney is not just about Marvel. Disney has so many other companies, and Sony is just one company. So if you
Correct.
compare them like as they are, Sony's making much less money than Disney, and that's why honestly I say hats off to Sony because they're doing what they think is going to bring them the most money and is going to pretty much not save their company, but like improve their income of the company.
Yeah. Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree. Um, we can definitely talk circles around this,
Oh
but we
yeah.
have another interesting topic to get to. So Ava Longoria, if you're not uh, aware, she was recently, I think, Dora's mom in the most recent Dora the Explorer or Dora and the Lost City of Gold movie.
Uh-huh.
She is set to direct a Flamin' Hot Cheetos movie, which is supposed to be a biopic origin of the creator of the Flamin' Hot Cheetos flavor. So this is
So like what
actually
is this,
going
like
to be
a
a movie
documentary or
that comes out. I don't think it's a documentary. I think it's going to be a full-on movie, like inspired by true events type of biopic about the
huh?
person who came up with this Cheetos flavor. I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts? This is very out there, and I don't know.
I mean, honestly, this just came as a shock to me because I just heard of this. I never really heard
Yeah,
of a movie about flaming hot Cheetos before. I mean, sure, people eat it a lot and everything, but
I mean,
I
I
don't
like
know
them.
movie lovers and moviegoers are going to react to that, especially like mainstream viewers that just view movies if they are good enough.
Hmm.
I don't think it's going to make a lot of money. It's people are going to go watch it just to like check it out because they're curious.
Hmm.
But I definitely don't think it's going to be some kind of blockbuster or anything. I mean, if you told me it was a documentary, I'm like, sure, I can like know where this
I
comes
see
from and
that.
everything. But
I definitely see
for
that.
exactly, and for them to make like a movie out of it, I don't see how Flaming Hot Cheetos kind of has like enough action or adventure or whatever genre to make like
Yeah,
a
it doesn't
movie, you
have
know?
anything like that puts butts in seats, as they say, you know? It doesn't have anything
Yeah.
that drives you to the theater or any like streaming service maybe to see
Exactly. Like
this.
if I was walking by a theater and I saw that poster, like I would actually think it's a joke at first, and I'd like Google it
For
up.
sure,
But
yeah, you'd be checking to see
yeah,
if it was April 1st or something, you know?
exactly. And I don't know. I feel like overall movies, you really have to wait for a nice movie to actually pop up these days instead of back in what the 80s, 90s, you know, it was just one blockbuster after the another, you know, and I don't know, I feel like the
Right.
quality of movies is starting to go down these days, especially like in the past, what, 5, 7 years.
Well, honestly, okay, I kind of disagree just slightly. I think that we get I understand what you're saying, but also I think that's mainly because of the fact that we have literally so many streaming services now, and every one of them is putting out their own original content. So we are just getting like just blasted in the face with all this content, and it's an immense amount of quantity. So yeah, the quality ones will always stick out, and I just have to think that because of the increased quantity, like there's an increased chance of finding quality content in the quantity. But
I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying,
if
but
studios like
if
Netflix are just trying to pump out things as fast as they can, so they have a lot
right,
of
yeah,
things like
yeah,
lining their shelves, I mean, not one thing is going to stick out. Like, not everything is going to be your Stranger Things or House of Cards or Ozark or Orange is the New Black, you know?
yeah. I
So,
mean,
yeah.
definitely, like, because if somebody comes up to you and be like, "What are some revolutionary movies that like you've seen and that really changed the game?" You know, you're gonna think of movies like The Shining. You're gonna think of movies like Jaws, The Godfather, like so on and
Yes.
so forth. You're not really gonna say, oh, maybe the new Lion King or the new or like Moana or something like that.
Right.
It's not gonna click,
Hmm.
because movies like that literally changed the game. They tried something new. Like for example, take Bullet. That was longest car chase, and Steve McQueen himself drove that car. He didn't use no stuntman, no nothing. So I don't know. The quantity is out there. There's a ton of movies out there, but back
Yes.
then they weren't pumping out as much movies as today. So ratio wise,
Correct.
I say the quality went down. But like you said, with
Yeah,
so much,
I
like you're
100%
gonna
agree
find
with that
something there.
because it's very difficult to make any movie. And now
Yeah,
with like the advent of technology and streaming services, it's pretty easy. It's become a lot easier to make said movie. But back then they were like, "Hey, we're going to be spending serious money on this, so we got to make sure that it's a good story that we're telling here."
exactly,
So,
exactly.
yeah. All right, so those are okay, I think we have just a few more minutes, so we'll hit on one last small topic before wrapping it up. Now, recently it just came up that they're making a new Marvel movie called The Eternals, and it's going to have an all completely new cast, and it's going to be set thousands of years in the past in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's going to have a pretty stacked cast with Angelina Jolie, Richard Madden, Kumail Nanjiani, and also what was recently announced is that Kit Harington, from who's also from Game of Thrones, like Richard Madden, is going to be joining
Hmm.
this movie. So what do you think
Okay.
about this?
I mean, I say it's pretty interesting. That's something I would like watch a trailer or two, and then I would just say, you know what, I might actually go watch this because this is something completely new. This is not Iron Man, not another Avengers movie. This is something like completely new, and I feel like for them after making so much money off of the new movies that they made, it's because they have all the right in the world to just keep rolling down that
Hmm.
hill and just making more money. But for them to toss it up and throw something new, I think that's pretty bold of them. And honestly, I would go check it out and see what happens.
Yeah, I honestly agree because at first I was a little apprehensive, like, okay, come on, they're making another movie, but honestly, the last time that Marvel made like a really original movie based on a pre-existing comic book property, it was the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I
Right.
absolutely love that movie. It was
Oh
something
yeah.
we'd never heard of before. Like, oh, what is this Guardians of the Galaxy? And then it just came
Exactly.
out and just
Exactly.
took the world by storm. So I'm honestly kind of excited for this. I
Oh
want to
yeah.
at least
Oh
see
yeah.
it.
Should be fun.
Yeah. So that's about our time, and I'd like to thank you guys for listening, and hope to see you guys in another episode.
For
Talal,
sure. 100%.
to
You
end
guys.
this episode. Oh yeah, please.
Uh, no, you're good. I was gonna say, you guys have a wonderful day. Keep doing what you're doing. Make sure you tune in to the next episode. And remember, even if you don't like movies, even if you're not a fan of movies, we can talk about anything and everything. And who knows, we might be open to suggestions and stuff like that to see what you guys want to hear. And whatever it is, we'll make sure that this podcast is just right for y'all.
Yeah, for sure. If you're on Stitcher, iTunes, Google Podcasts, even on YouTube, we'll also put this on YouTube. So definitely feel free to leave a comment. We will gladly take your suggestions into consideration. Now, to sign
Exactly.
off, Talal, you want to give us any sort of movies you're looking forward to in the coming months, coming weeks?
Oh man, one movie that I can name right off the top of my head is the new Joker movie because
Oh,
this movie
yes.
looks
We were talking about the
unreal.
trailer
And
yesterday.
exactly, exactly. And actually, like when I saw the final trailer, it just made me more and more excited because we finally get to see, like, we already know a backstory of like the past Joker, but we're actually gonna see how the Joker is like made today. And what's scary is it's realistic. Like this can happen to anybody that would just snap all of a sudden, given the right amount of exposure to like
Correct. It would be.
this is and it's pretty intense. And I think the actor Joaquin is on par on doing this part. He gave it his all.